Welcome to the College Admissions Process Podcast presented by Prep Expert. Prep Expert offers live online SAT and ACT courses with the best score guarantees, instructors, and curriculum. Go to prepexpert.com to guarantee your child's success. Welcome to The Cap, where we are here to speak with college reps and other professionals in the field of college admissions to help answer all your questions and guide you through every step of the process. So if you're serious about college admissions, you've come to the right place. Are you ready? Let's talk about it. And now, here's your host, Dr. John Durante. Welcome to The Cap, the College Admissions Process Podcast. I am your host, John Durante, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome back Monica Matthews, who is an expert on scholarships. Her website is how-to, that's two with the number two. Again, it's how-to-win-scholarships.com. Her Facebook group, which has over 105,000 followers, is called Scholarship Help and College Talk for Parents. Now, Monica was with us back on episode 70, which was released in October of 2022. And it gives me great pleasure to bring her back, as I know that she's going to add so much value to students, parents, and even counselors that want to learn about scholarships. So, Monica, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
John, I'm good. I'm excited to be here. It's been a while.
It certainly has been a while, and it's an honor and pleasure to have you back. So, Monica, what would you say are the biggest mistakes students and their parents make when it comes to those scholarships, and how can they avoid them?
They believe the myth. They think they can't win scholarships because they're not good enough, their GPA is not high enough, they haven't volunteered enough, they're not number one in their class. It's a myth. It's a big mistake. And then the other one is really important, is that when students write their essays, they don't share personal stories. They don't connect their essay to the theme of the scholarship. It's so important. And I just cannot stress enough how students need to learn how to write an essay that resonates with the judges.
Well, I appreciate that. We talk about that also with the personal statement in terms of sharing those personal stories that connect to the proper theme, in this case, finding those scholarships. So, Monica, what key characteristics make a scholarship application stand out in addition to what you mentioned? And what other strategies can students use to increase their chances of actually winning them?
Right. I read a lot of scholarship essays, and so many just spit back the prompt. What does that mean? Say the prompt is, why do you deserve the scholarship money? And the students start out with, I deserve the scholarship money because. It's the same thing over and over. Students need to start with a hook, something interesting that paints a picture with their words of who they are in the minds of the judges. Something different, something quirky. Don't be afraid to be different, because that's how students stand out, and that's how they become memorable, and that's how scholarships are won.
Well, that's also great advice. Don't just repeat the prompt. Students, it's important to use a hook, and use a hook that, of course, is something interesting that's going to grab the scholarship reader. You have to imagine that they're reading dozens of essays, and so you want to stand out as opposed to just, again, like Monica said, repeating back the prompt. Now, Monica, many students, as we know, think they won't qualify for scholarships because of what you mentioned earlier, their GPA, perhaps test scores, or even their financial background. So what other advice would you share with them if they think like that?
There are scholarships for everything. There's scholarships for students who are strong in certain areas. There are scholarships for kids who volunteer a lot, that show leadership. A lot of those don't even ask for students' GPA. They don't even ask for parents' finances. They need to find scholarships that are relevant to them, especially local scholarships, and those are the ones they need to spend the most time applying for.
Well, I appreciate that. And I remember one of the reps that I interviewed, I believe it was the representative from UCLA, she said that it would actually be very advisable for students to look at scholarships as a part-time job, because to your point, there are so many of them out there. But you have to take the time to look. You have to take the time to fill out the applications thoroughly. And again, using those hooks to entice, hopefully, the scholarship people to award you with some money. Now, Monica, with the rise of AI and, of course, so much new technology, are there innovative ways students can enhance their scholarship search and, of course, that overall application process?
AI is not going away. So students can embrace AI. You can use Chat GPT and say, I need a list of scholarships for students in Michigan who are interested in engineering. And then you get a list of scholarships. Now, are they all real scholarships? Are they all relevant? Are they all good? Are they all current? Are they old ones? Maybe not. So you can use AI to your advantage to find scholarships, but not to write your essays. Never, ever to write essays. I did a blog post about it. And there's in my ebooks, I talk about it, or I will be talking about it in my next update, but I definitely have a blog post about it. And there are catchphrases, there are all these things to look for that AI detectors will find, and they'll flag the students' essays as AI written. So students shouldn't even don't even put it into Grammarly anymore. I mean, Grammarly is good for certain things, but once it's out there, it's out there. The students need to learn how to use for Google Docs to look for their revision history. And so it's there, it's recorded. If you're writing in a Google Doc, there's a way to find it. And I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget to tell you guys, but file, and then you go to version history, and then see version history, and you can see all the updates that have been made. If a student ever has to prove to a scholarship judge, which probably won't happen, but maybe a professor in college, that they did make the edits, they did write their essays. So AI is good to a certain extent if it's used as a tool and not as a crutch.
Well, I appreciate that. And in the field of education, we've been talking a lot about red, yellow, and green light ways where you should or should not use AI. So, to your point, definitely don't use it, students, to write the essay, but certainly engage in it, use it to help you find various essays that are out there. That's appropriate use of AI, again, to help you find the scholarships, but certainly not to write an essay for you. So, what would you say, Monica, are some of the most overlooked scholarships that students should be applying for?
The smaller ones, maybe they're only worth $500. And so students gravitate towards the big ones. Hey, I just want to write one essay. I'm going to win $5,000. It's going to be renewable, and then I'll be done. One and done. Well, it doesn't work that way. First of all, your competition is so much fiercer from those big national scholarships. The smaller ones will have less competition. The local ones will have way less competition. There are some that are only for students in your state, that sort of thing. So just hone in on every scholarship, big or small. Don't decide on if you're going to apply for it because of the amount that it's worth.
Well, that's great advice, not for it to be a one and done. And of course, it's wonderful to get a $5,000 scholarship that's renewable every year. But if you get multiple $1,000 scholarships, that also adds up. So I appreciate the idea of applying to multiple scholarships. Again, one and done should not be the focus. Now, Monica, scam scholarships are a growing concern. What are the biggest red flags students and their families should be aware of, and how can they protect themselves from these scam scholarships?
Right. And they are out there, and it's really good to be aware. Scholarships that ask for a student's social security number, they might need that if the student wins and for tax purposes, and that's okay after they win and everything has been vetted and for sure they've won. You should never put it down. Students shouldn't add it if they're just applying. And if it is asked for, what I advise students to do is X out every number except for the last four numbers to show that they have a social security number, and then put a notation somewhere on the application. If I win the scholarship, I'm happy to share my full social security number. Also, lots of typos or strange things in the guidelines. Just skip that one. Don't even worry about it. Let's see, what else? Personal information, bank information. They should never need your bank card or your bank account numbers. Scholarships that promise you're going to win or for a fee, skip those. Not worth it. Not even worth looking into. People can email me. I get it all the time. Hey, will you look into this one for me? Is it legit? And I'm happy to look into it. I look for things. I look for previous winners. I look for how long that company's been in business, that sort of thing. So I have no problem looking into scholarships for people, but you definitely need to be aware that there are scams out there. It's a great question.
Well, I love those pieces of advice. Number one, see if they list previous winners, but also if it's a company or a business, how long have they been in business to give you an indication of how legitimate, in fact, it is or not. Monica, how can parents best support their students in the scholarship process without overstepping or, frankly, taking over?
Right. And parents should never take ownership of the scholarship process. Students need to be invested. But also, this is like the cornerstone of what I teach in my ebooks. It is parents partnering with their students. Parents can have roles, students could have roles. Parents find the scholarships, make a list. The student writes the essays. Mom or dad sends a text to the student, hey, this essay with this question is due in a week and a half. Please work on it. Or this is the deadline for this scholarship. This saves so much time and really takes a lot of pressure off of kids because it's almost like I like to say, and I think I talked about this in our last podcast, but it's so important to me. Learning how to drive a car. You don't just hand the car keys to your kids and say, okay, drive. You don't. You sit in the seat with them. You sit in the car and you're like, don't start it yet. First, this is where everything that is, and this is what you do, and this is what you don't do. The scholarship process is no different. And when students win scholarships, parents win. They're not taking out the loans. They're not co-signing for the loans. They're not paying giant monthly fees. It's a process. Do it together. Each can have their own roles, and it really helps the kids stay motivated, knowing that somebody's right there with them every step of the way.
Well, that's great advice also to hopefully help bring the family together. And Monica, many students, as you know, they actually stop looking for those scholarships once they enter college. How can they continue to find and win scholarships even after they've started college?
Yeah, so a lot of kids don't even they think senior year of high school, that's where I apply for all my scholarships, but it's so untrue. Oh my gosh. One of my boys won a scholarship. He was a sophomore in college. And the great thing is that, well, I should back up because there's ways that they can find them. But I'll just finish the story. I kept telling him, check your email because that's one way. Check your school issued email. A scholarship opportunity was emailed to him through a school email. He applied for it. He won it as a sophomore in college. He ended up needing an extra semester to graduate, and that fourth year of that scholarship carried over to that last semester that he needed. So amazing.
Wow,
But
that's
check
awesome.
your school emails, bulletin boards around, especially your major, your department of your major. Ask your professors. There's like 12 different ways for students who are in college to find scholarships. I talk about this in my ebook for students because their ways to find scholarships are different than traditionally, your local scholarships. You're going to get a list from your high school counselor, the high school students. So there's lots and lots of ways they can find them as long as they know that, they are out there. I can do this. And they should apply for scholarships all through college. They probably have less competition too because it's not even on a lot of kids' radars.
That's such great advice. Exactly. You probably have far less competition when you are a college student because the vast majority of the people, I would imagine, think that, to your point, once senior year of high school is over and you apply to scholarships, that's it, you're done, which is absolutely is not true. There are so many opportunities for students who are currently in college. And so, can you share another real success story of a student who used your strategies to win scholarships and what made their approach different?
Oh my gosh, so many good stories. Here's a family. Her name is Dawn, and this is one of the moms in my big Facebook group. But she has 3 kids, and we message a lot because she asks me questions. I answer questions. I didn't know her before any of the scholarship stuff got started. And 2 of her kids were very involved in sports, had good grades, not perfect grades. Used my strategies, won scholarships. They applied smart. And really quick, let me just go over what I talk. Applying smart is what I talk about all the time. It is not the SMART goals that you'll find in business. And I came up with my SMART acronym before I even realized the whole business SMART thing. And the business SMART thing is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That's the SMART. Mine is for SMART: share personal details, market yourself, answer the essay question, review guidelines, and trusted eyes. 5 different ways, and they go into much deeper detail. In my ebooks, I talk about them. I have videos on them. But her kids applied smart. Okay, so 2 of her kids, good grades, applied smart, won tons of scholarships. Then her third, her daughter, special needs, but has IEP, learning challenges. She applied smart, won 14 scholarships. So
Wow.
there are ways to make your application stand out to the judges by doing these things, the things that I learned that I researched about, that I share in my ebooks, that's what students do. They write their essays with the hook. They don't just, if you turn in 15, 20 different applications and you haven't won anything, something needs to change. Kids will just over and over, oh, you have a great essay, and the parents will say, I love their essay. Well, do you know what the judges look for? It's different than an academic essay. Scholarship essays are totally different. So using my SMART strategies, doing all the things, that's what makes a difference.
Well, the smart strategies sound awesome, as do your ebooks. And just to let everyone know, Monica's ebooks are only available on her website. So again, the website is how to, the number two, again, that's how, the number two, winscholarships.com. Monica, this has been a phenomenal conversation. Before I get to my last question, I just have to ask, is there a question that I didn't ask or something that I didn't bring up, of course, related to scholarships that you'd like to share with us now?
Question I get a lot is, when do students start applying for scholarships? So when do we start the scholarship process? And my answer always is, start early, but also start where you are right now. If you're listening, if you're a parent and your student is a senior in high school, it's already the spring or whatever you're listening, and you're thinking it's too late, just forget about that. Start where you are right now. There are scholarships open every month of every year, all the time, and just start. Learn how to play smart and start now. Yes, earlier is better. And, there are scholarships open to all levels of students, even elementary, middle school. And applying for those really gives kids practice. They learn what they can be doing. They get involved in things. And so when they're ready to apply, they have that much more on their scholarship resumes, that sort of thing. But start early, but also start where you are right now.
Well, that's great advice. And this has been phenomenal. Unfortunately, it does lead us to that last question, Monica, which is, what are your final pieces of advice you wish to leave students and, of course, their families about scholarships?
Well, one of the things I love to do still to this day, and I've been doing this since 2009, so do the math, it's been a long time. Learn what the scholarship judges like and dislike. I've interviewed scholarship judges, I've learned, I share in my ebooks. If they love something about a student, about what students do, that's what your students need to do. If they don't like something, it annoys them, just like spitting back the prompt, don't do that. Learn what they like and use it. Why not? And people write self-help books. People write, John, you have a book? I mean, why not? Use the research. You could do it yourself or save yourself the time and get it together in one spot. But learn what they like and use it. I mean, it's so effective.
Well, that's so effective, as has this conversation been. And I'm so happy, as I know that we're bringing so much value to students and their parents as they not only navigate the college process, but look for those scholarships to help them. There are so many families that, they struggle, of course, with the finances when it comes to the college process. And hopefully they're going to hear this, they'll get your ebooks, and many people will get those scholarships, which would be phenomenal. Monica, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for coming on today. You were awesome.
So you're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. And to everyone out there, good luck with the college search. Take care, all, and best wishes. Thank you for joining us on this episode of The CAP, the College Admissions Process Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please don't forget to tell a friend. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. I am your host, John Durante, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of The CAP. Hey, podcast friends, if you've been enjoying the College Admissions Process Podcast, I'm excited to share my new book, Straight from the Admissions Office, Insider Strategies for College Applications. It's packed with insights and tips from over 250 podcast episodes with admissions professionals designed to make the college process less overwhelming. Whether you're a student, parent, or college counselor, it's a valuable resource for navigating the admissions process. By grabbing a copy, you're also helping to support the podcast. The links are in the show notes. Thank you, and best wishes to all with the college admissions process.